श्रीगणपतिभ्यो नमः। सद्गुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। नीलकण्ठ शिव शिवाय नमः। श्रीकण्ठ शिव श्रीकण्ठ शिव श्रीकण्ठ शिवाय नमः। नंजुंडेश 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 शिवाय नमः। अरुणाचलेश 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 शिवाय नमः। सोमनाथ शिव सोमनाथ शिव सोमनाथ शिव शिवाय नमः। सोमनाथ शिव शिवाय नमः। महादेव शिव महादेव शिव महादेव शिव शिवाय नमः। महेश्वर शिव महेश्वर शिव महेश्वर शिव शिवाय नमः। भिक्षाटना शिव भिक्षाटना शिव भिक्षाटना शिव शिवाय नमः। कैलासनाथ 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 शिवाय नमः। शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः। शिवाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय हराय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय भवाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Friends, we have been conducting this function every year. It's been conducted in the morning so that all the devotees can keep vigil or go to pujas or go to temples in the evening or night. So many people may do it, so for their convenience we are doing it in the morning. Anyhow, Shiva has to be worshipped on this holy day. The oldest tradition of religion dates back to Shiva only. The Vedas talk about Rudra, and Om Namah Shivaya mantra is very ancient. But if you go to internet, you will get all the details about Shivaratri. But you will not get the pulsation. You can have a quest, you can receive the knowledge, but the pulsation, the heart will not function. But it's a piece of information for you, which is necessary also. Suppose we tell we will do puja like this, we have to do puja like this. That is a piece of information. Only when you do the puja, it becomes an experience, or you undergo that part of your life. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ರುದ್ರ is supposed to be the what you call missile which can burn all the papas. The papas are not there in the activity, not there anywhere else. It is there in the vibrations and also in your mind. Suppose someone has done something wrong, the time is over already. The time of doing that sin is over. But the cosmos collects a little vibration about what they do. You call it Chitragupta or whatever you want to call it, but that collects the vibrations in the vibration level. So when these vibrations are there, your mind also recognizes, because it exists there, and you also recognize, both of them become real. It will appear to be real that you are a sinner. So don't recognize on any part of any time of your life that you are a papi. It degenerates you, it brings you down to a very small level. Mind is such a thing which vibrates and which recognizes the world at their face value. ಪ್ರಪಂಚವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಆಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ, ಬಟ್ then you are not here. No, you are not an Indian if you do like this. If you are like this, the time goes you, the time finishes its work, and it gets erased. But man feels that he does it. Is it right? When the science came into existence, its first was the query of how the world came out and what is nature. But till today there is no reply. The research goes on forever. The vistas are opening up, so the research goes on. Nothing is wrong, but exploration is in the wrong direction. So we, the ancients, call it Swabhava. They don't even call it karma, karma bandhana. These words they don't use. Swabhava. Swabhava of the world is nature, which changes forever. Every second it changes. And the man's Swabhava is, the nature of everyone. But if you know, everyone belongs to this, the Indian scientists called Rishis. So they were not satisfied with the sound, they were not satisfied even with Vedas. They were trying to explore what is the possibility of this nature. What is it? That they knew then that it was in their own being and beyond their own being. The other scientists will call it, no, as long as you think it will be only mind. Even the own being is mind, beyond own being is mind. It was not that. It was done very consciously, and they could explore and say that everyone's own being can be transcended. The Brahman is something different. So if you want to get this, what is the root? If the hormones, if the grace falls on your head, no body can bear it. God's grace is something. This much itself you can't bear. If the grace falls in full, how will you bear it? The fall of grace is something like a perennial river. You can call it Ganga. So Bhagirath had, with Bhagirath Prayatna and Tapasya, he brought it down. But he could not bear it. It was so forceful. It was with such a force it comes. So Jatājotadara Mahadeva had to hold it in his love. It's not Purana. The Jata itself is a very mystical thing. And as the person evolves, The theory of evolution is there, etc. Nature changes. That is the science of this world. The reality is nature changes. Through the matter clocks, he directs the grays in a particular proportion so that the man will reach his own being and go beyond. So the Shaivagama and Shaiva Siddhanta, they try to bring out this grace. Shaivagama, you call it from north, it's in Sanskrit. Shaiva Siddhanta usually is in Tamil. So if you compare both, they all try to tell you Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Nigraha, Anugraha. These are the 5 phases of Lord Panchanana, Lord Shiva. Andre 5 Talegalu. The same thing is in Tamil also. But these 5 constitute the nature of Shiva. So to get this grace, man has to do tapas. Tapas is a word which can't be translated in English. Just by fasting, just by doing a ritual, do we do tapas, just by meditating. But these are all necessary, but it's also not tapas in a sense. This tapas creates an Agni. That's why you call, whether it's a Panchama Jati or Brahmin, unless this Agni takes over, yearning for merger with God, he is not considered to be any human being also, because he has to take birth again and again. But a man has a lot of Agni for worldly desires. He doesn't know that these desires will be fulfilled only when you say, let God takes over, or he leaves the desire. It's something like your shadow. It leads you, your desires leads you. Suppose you want to catch and control your desires, that is your shadow. It will be going on increasing. The shadow goes on increasing. But suppose you say cheapo and turn back and get out, the shadow also will follow you. Come on, I am with you, I am with you. Very secret, very simple, and it's the truth of the world, true nature of this universe. Never question the existence of Shiva. Who creates this universe? Can science explain anything at all? Even in the Swabhava, nature. You just go, you chance to fall on a stone, suppose, small stone. You take that stone and see this side. Suppose you take and see that side. Suppose there is calcite formation in that stone. How calcite formation could appear on this stone, can any scientist explain? There are 1 lakh years, 500 lakh years also they can't explain. So they can only send this to a laboratory and say how much calcite has been formated on this stone. That's all. That is analysis. You can't find out the reason. So whether it is tsunami, whether it is anything, any natural happening, you can only analyze. You can't just control, or you can't do anything with it. But still man has not learned to bow before God. How much groundwater level came up, and how everything happens, you can analyze. But how it happens, why it happens, when it happens, where it will happen, you can't tell. For Manvantaras together, even in the Jyotisha Shastra, Panchangas will tell you how much rain will fall on this, but not meteorological department. Why I am coming to all this is, the nature's Swabhava is so nice and so much changing. Every moment it goads you or goads the world into evolution. So Swabhava, Tapasya. If you understand these 2 words, or if you have the pangs of hunger for God, I think life is achieved. That is the Shivaratri's Mahima. Shiva is also giver of prosperity, giver of health, destroyer of papas, etc., etc. So unless Arogya and Aishwarya is there, man feels famished, what you call, he feels not enough, not complete. So he gives you all this, and you are prayed to Lord Shiva. Let Shiva bestow on you everything you need. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।